And my goodness, what a week it has been for Prince Harry. This controversy over the Pat Tillman Award just gets worse by the day. And now lots of folk are asking if he should actually hand it back, especially after senior military figures got involved. Angela Levin, so great to have you here, our regular royal mastermind. And Angela, wow, this has kicked off this week with Prince Harry and Pat Tillman. Do you think, because you're his biographer, I should remind people, you're his biographer, you spent all of this time with him, do you think he should accept this award, or should he turn it down now that you've got Pat Tillman's mother, now that you've got senior military figures saying you absolutely can't?
Yes, I think he has to do that. I think this is so important that if he doesn't, he will be plunging down even further than he is. What I find particularly interesting is that before we have thought that it's Harry's fault, that he wants to gather all these things because it gives him a boost, and Meghan loves them and he can put them on the shelf and all that. But when Admiral Lord West speaks, he thinks that he's allowing himself to be used by all sorts of people who want to just hang on to the fact that he is a prince, and it will give them more publicity. So it's quite an interesting view of that. And I think that one is, you put the two together and it is a bomb, isn't it? I mean, it's just ridiculous. He can't do it. He mustn't do it. He will actually wipe himself out. And he's not very popular at the moment. There's a piece on the papers about America who actually don't like him anymore, don't want him around. And Meghan loses friends a lot very quickly, and they've not been interested in her African Riviera orchard jam. And it's very, very difficult for them.
Scam jam, I call it, Angela. Scam jam. I mean, do you know what? I found it fascinating because even The Guardian now, the left-wing Guardian, who used to adore Harry and Meghan, are writing critical columns describing them as being in their flop era. So it certainly does feel like America has turned.
Yes, I think that's right. And I think because they live really in an isolated way, they're not really going out and seeing what the world is like. They don't realize how things change. I mean, Harry as well was so popular. He was the most popular royal for many years, and people didn't mind his mischievousness, what they called it that, and they cared about him. I thought he was terrific when I was interviewing him for the biography, and he was very good with people who had problems and a kind, rather like his mother. And but now they've had enough of it. They don't like the
Yeah.
lies. They don't like washing dirty linen in public, and especially not the royal linen. And they've got to make a huge change if they want to stay in anybody's sort of line of liking.
I mean, the thing is, Angela, if he is a decent human being, he will not accept the ESPY award. Because surely just out of respect for Pat Tillman's mother. I mean, come on, Pat Tillman was an absolutely accomplished American footballer who quit his career in order to fight for the US after 9/11 in Afghanistan. He was killed in a friendly fire incident. His mum says, no, I don't want Prince Harry to take the award. He is too divisive a figure. At that point, if Harry was a decent human being, he says, look, I've heard what Pat Tillman's mother has said. I respect her. She lost her son. He should just say no.
Yes, of course. Now, the thing is, both he and Meghan took a lot about humanitarianism and that you should love people. I mean, I've always laughed at that because they've been so nasty that they're saying this is what people should do and they're not doing it themselves. But he must know about family. He's talking about his mother, he's talking about family, he's trying to get back to London. We don't know why exactly. And he can't actually pretend that this is not important. I mean, this mother has lost her child. He understands when someone who you really love dies and what it can do to you. And he can't ignore that because he, if anyone, can hear and see and think about what it is when you've lost a loved one. And he can't ignore it. That's what I think anyway.
The problem is, Angela, it now feels like he almost uses his military service for good publicity, but he doesn't care about lots of the principles of the military. For example, in Spare, do you remember he infuriated his former colleagues because he spoke about how many people he had killed, which was considered incredibly tasteless, and now these comments from Lord West are just completely damning, I think, because he's obviously very, very respected. And he said, I really think Harry should be well advised to sit back and not accept awards like this. It doesn't travel well with people in the military. And when the mother of the man who died doesn't want him to get this award, he should think about that. My advice to him is to sit back and not accept any awards at the moment. They are going his way because he has such a high profile and people want to take advantage of that. And I say,
Yeah, that's exactly it. That it's a terrifying sentence. But I must say about the Invictus Games, that's one of the reasons they're giving it to him. It's not the only reason, but the one reason I think is the weakest of them all, because I get a lot of emails from people who are in take part in the Invictus Games and say Harry has ruined it because it's now Meghan's games, because she wants to give the speeches, she wants to march in, well, it's a sort of a march, it looks more like a Dior march, but she does a march with people who have been wounded before and they have to walk behind her, which is very humiliating for them and ridiculous. And they don't want him anymore. They also, Harry and Meghan, make a lot of charges of what they want: rooms decorated, special blankets and all sorts of things. And they don't really want them to do that. So they keep saying, well, he should go to me. Can I get rid of him? Well, I can't do anything. It's nothing to do with me. And I don't even try at any level. But, if he does care for the Invictus Games as well, he could hand it over to them totally. It's not very far from what he's doing. He can't keep it for himself. And if he doesn't want to do that, he's in very big trouble. But of course, Harry can't see that now. He has different eyes, different thoughts, and he doesn't see the world in the same way that he used to.
Angela, it was our question of the day, actually, whether Prince Harry should accept this award or hand it back. We've had some brilliant comments in that I want to share from you. Sarah Pert writes, Royals give awards, they don't receive them. He has already accepted an award for his contribution to aviation, this despite not even being qualified to fly a helicopter alone. He is allowed to be a co-pilot. The optics of him receiving that award from a man who has a pilot's license, not to mention an accomplished actor, dancer and singer, I think that was John Travolta, wasn't it? Paul Bergkamp, says, absolutely no. Harry, is not an American by birth and therefore doesn't deserve to receive such a prestigious Medal of Distinguished Honor. Those who decided to give him this medal need to rethink their decision. And Janak says Harry is using the Invictus Games for his own PR. Is he and his wife claiming expenses? If so, how much? He should be donating money and not take them. He should promote the Invictus Games and not himself. And Amelia writes, no awards for princes. Princes are wealthy, titled and privileged. Organising the Invictus Games is something a truly honourable and noble prince would do for no awards, no prizes, no accolades. They would consider it their duty to their people discharged and take satisfaction only in knowing they have helped people less fortunate than themselves. Only an ignoble prince would accept an award for doing good towards the people. And I couldn't agree more, Amelia. And the thing is, Harry had an opportunity to turn this award down. The ESPYs wouldn't have given it to him if he hadn't have said that he wanted it. Of course, they check these things. And you know what? We've already had over 5,000 votes within our our YouTube community on this. Does Prince Harry deserve the Pat Tillman Award? This is a whopping, overwhelming vote. 98% of those 5,000 votes saying no, just 2% saying yes. And do stand by. Oh, sorry, you go, Angela.
No, I'm not surprised at all, because people can feel how unfair it is of Harry to steal this. Absolutely. I mean, he doesn't steal it figuratively. He just steals it from the people who have really been wounded and care. And you have to understand that and give. That's the key, which 2 or 3 of them have said. This is the whole thing about our royal family. They give. They don't want to take. And Harry and Meghan have become just taking. And I think that's spoils them for people who don't like them anymore.
And if you want lots more royal gossip, royal interviews, royal exclusives, you know that Dan Wootton Outspoken is the place to be, because we bring you the stories that the Royal Rota won't cover. Angela Levin is with me every week, plus I'm joined by some of our other favourites like Lady Colin Campbell and Samantha Markle. So, if you want access to Angela and I, if you want to ask us the questions, communicate live, please sign up to our after show, www.outspoken.live. If you sign up there, you'll be able to chat to us live on the show.